Colbyjack.net is proud to present From the Flames by Trisha M. Wilson. The people of the fire, the Blesa, led by their queens, have ruled the island of Alfeyju and oppressed the Driva, the people of the ice, for more than 16 generations. With the Drivian King in hiding and little hope on the horizon, the Driva looked to one person to save them from the vile Blesa, the Diviana. According to legend, the divinely gifted Diviana will one day overthrow the Blesa and restore the Drivian King to his rightful throne. But with the search having lasted for more than 400 years, will the Diviana ever come to light? Willow is the slave of the Raskpil family. Bought at the age of 4, 20 years have passed since her life irrevocably changed. Her existence is no worse than any other slave, but within, Willow wonders if there isn't something more she should be doing with her life other than serving the ungrateful. Ordered to travel with her master's family to Sondertoft, so her master's adult children can take part in an ancient rite of passage, Willow is shocked when she learns that she too must participate. Will she fail, as all before her have? Will she rise to the challenge and become stronger after passing through the flames? Episode 41, Chapter 23, Sounds in the Forest.
Did she say to take another ride at the fifth fork, or was this one a left? Sigurd asked, stopping and looking around the forest. Turning the map around, Hawk said, I thought she said left, but I think she drew a right. Why would she say one thing but draw the other? Willow asked, looking over his shoulder at the map. Because she's old and likes the idea of strangers lost in the woods? Val asked. Can you make out what she drew? Hawk asked Willow after turning the map around again. I can't figure out which way is up, or if there is an up. There has to be an up. Taking the map from his grasp, Willow walked into a ray of light beaming out from the trees. All I see are squiggles. But we watched her draw a map, right? And it was legible. Legible to those with cloudy eyes and bent backs, Val said. I can see the old crow now, warm in her hut, cackling over a large cauldron at the thought of those 3 stupid strangers who'd listened to her directions to the supposed leopard cave. I bet she's never even seen the leopard, or the cave. She wouldn't lie to us, Val, Willow said sharply, still looking at the map. How would you know? You only met her today. You need to stop being so trusting, or you'll become lost in the woods. Oh, wait, you are lost in the woods. I say we go back and see if anyone else can give us better directions, Sigurd said. If we can get back, Hawk said. Do you remember which forks were right and which were left? Not really. The way she kept going off on tangents while telling us the directions made me go nuts. I can't remember half of what she told us, Sigurd said. Making a quick decision, Willow said, We go on. What? Sigurd, Hawk, and Val yelled. You heard me. We keep going. We've come too far to turn back just because the directions are confusing. If we keep going, we have to come to something eventually. If not, then we'll sleep under the stars tonight and hope things get better tomorrow. Are you serious? Sigurd asked, getting into her face. You want us to blindly follow a path, which looks like it hasn't been traveled on in years, and sleep outside where we could be killed by that leopard? If the leopard comes to kill us, then we won't have to find it now, will we? Willow said, trying to make a joke. Seeing the mutinous look on his face, she said in a more serious voice, You can turn back at any time you want. Nobody's keeping you here. I'm not a coward that runs at the first sign of trouble, Sigurd growled. Then stop acting like one, Willow retorted. Before it could become more heated, Hawk walked between the two of them and said, This isn't getting us anywhere. If we're going to keep looking, we should get walking. Stomping away from Willow and Hawk, Sigurd took a left at the fork, not waiting to see if they would follow. As the sun began to set over the treetops, Willow finally called their walking for the day to an end. Night's going to be upon us soon. We should stop. Shouldn't we wait for a clearing of some sort? Hawk asked, looking around as if one would suddenly appear. What clearing? Sigurd shot back. We haven't come across a clearing since we entered this god-forsaken place. What makes you think we'll magically come upon one now that it's getting dark? Do you always have to be so snarky? Hawk asked, his voice betraying only a little of the anger he felt. Would you prefer it if I told you outright how stupid your suggestion was? Stop it now, Willow yelled. Don't make them stop, Val begged. It was just getting good. You be quiet, too. We aren't going to go on. We are not going to look for a clearing, and if you can't answer someone without being mean, you keep your mouth shut. Understood? Willow growled. Sigurd mumbled something, but Willow wasn't in the mood to ask what he had said. Good. Now you two get things set up here, while I go find some firewood. Can't you make us a house or something to stay in? Sigurd whined. I'm tired of sleeping on the ground. Gritting her teeth, she said, As I've told you every night we've been on the road, I will not make us a house, or a hut, or a hovel, or any other structure you can come up with. And so help me, if you ask me one more time. Turning away, she entered the forest before she said or did something she'd regret. While she wanted to get away from them, she made sure to stay within the sound of the others' bickering voices as she picked up branches and twigs. What is wrong with that guy? Val asked. It seems like every time something happens, not according to the plan, he gets all mean and nasty on you. Why do you put up with him? He's my friend, she responded. I don't turn my back every time a friend says or does something mean. It wouldn't be right. Not right? His whole demeanor hasn't been right for a long time. So what's the real reason? That is the real reason. Why don't you focus on our little problem? Which little problem? The one where we're lost in unknown woods following the flawed directions of a deranged woman? Or the one where we're looking for a giant leopard that could come out of nowhere at any time and eat us alive? Willa huffed out a breath in frustration. Why do I bother to ask you for help? Because I'm a wonderful companion, Val said promptly. Much better than those two numbskulls you're with. I thought you liked Hawk, she commented as she made her way back toward their camp. I do! Suppressing a laugh, she walked into camp and into the company of her bickering men. Watching the dying fire as she tried to go to sleep, Willow kept thinking about Christ, wondering why she'd have led them astray. Had they looked or acted threatening, thus receiving her ill will and wrong directions? Or had the woman really been trying to help and had just given them bad directions? Chris had said she hadn't been to the den in a lot of years. Memories fade and can become confused. Perhaps that is what had happened. Keep telling yourself that, kid, Val said sleepily from beside her. Shifting again beneath her blanket, this time to face the darkness of the woods, she closed her eyes and willed herself to sleep. Thinking about the situation wouldn't change it, and she'd be exhausted come tomorrow if she didn't get to sleep soon. After what felt like hours had passed, Willow started to relax and drifted to sleep, only to be woken by a rustling coming from the forest. Staying still, except for her eyes, she tried to see into the forest to figure out what had made the sound. Seeing only darkness, she closed her eyes again. But the noise came again. This time, closer than before. Again, Willow searched for the cause, but she couldn't see anything. Mentally shaking her head to clear the foolishness from it, for she must be imagining the sounds, Willow began to shift onto her back when she heard the noise for a third time. Willow sat up. She looked around, searching for the noise's source, but she saw nothing. No movements, no animals, nothing. I'm never going to get any sleep if I don't check it out, she thought to herself as she got to her feet and picked up Val. Where are we going? Val grumbled. To check out a noise. A noise? You'll never get any sleep if you check out every single noise in the forest. It's probably an animal. That's what I'm afraid of. This isn't a good idea, Val warned as they left the path. At least bring one of them with you as backup. I don't want to disturb their sleep for nothing. If it's nothing, why are we going? Because I said so, she said with exasperation. Oh, good reasoning. Willow focused on the world around her as she made her way toward where she thought she'd heard the sound. It was very hard to tell where she was headed. Without even the small amount of light given off by the stars, Willow wasn't able to see even a hand in front of her face or a tree, let alone an animal which might be prowling around their camp. After running into her fifth tree, she thought, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. I could have told you that before you started this little expedition. But wait, I did, didn't I? You are not helping, Willow said, gritting her teeth. If you really wanted to help, you'd be looking for the noisemaker. Who says I'm not? It's not like I can see any better than you can. Moving around a cluster of trees and going deeper into the forest, she said, I thought you could do anything. I can do almost anything. Seeing in the dark isn't one of my special abilities. Stopping to survey the darkness around her, she said, That's too bad. Right now, that type of ability would come in handy. A bush to her right suddenly rattled. Snapping her head in that direction, while the rest of her body froze in place, she tried to see what had made the noise, but it was too dark. While she backed away slowly, Val said, What are you doing? You wanted to find the source of the noise, and you have! Go forth and investigate! Ignoring the order, Willow continued to move away from whatever was now moving toward her. In the brief glimpses she saw of the animal, it looked to be a large, furry, and four-footed object. She was unable to make out any more details than that. Dodging around yet another tree, Willow suddenly asked herself why she was walking backwards, when she could run if she just turned around. Because, Val answered her, running will only make the animal chase you like prey, and you don't want to do that, do you? No, but I've got to do something. Walking backwards isn't going to get me away from the beast. Turning around, she ran into the darkness. As the seconds passed, she became more lost and disoriented than before. But she didn't care. Behind her, she heard the animal start to run along with her, but not overtaking her. Running for her life, she thought she saw a clearing of some sort in front of her. Picking up her pace, she sprinted toward it, hoping if she could make it, she'd be able to see what exactly was pursuing her and fight it off somehow. Sprinting into the treeless area, she suddenly felt the ground beneath her vanish. Falling onto her side, she rolled and scraped against rocks, stumps, and bushes. Rolling at increasingly fast speeds, she tried to grab onto something, anything to stop her descent, but with only one free hand, she couldn't get a hold on anything. Hanging onto Val tightly, Willow felt her body go up an incline. She relaxed a little, thinking the hill would slow her down and come to a stop. But she suddenly went airborne. Closing her eyes, she felt the wind whipping at her body. She hoped she'd land on something soft, like grass or water. Then her back and head hit a wall of rock. Sliding down the rock face, she hit the ground with a thud. Willow opened her eyes to an ever-increasingly narrow view of the world and saw an animal leap off of a ledge and walk toward her. Breath knocked out of her and unable to move, she closed her eyes, hoping the animal would leave her alone. Her hopes were dashed when she smelled the beast's foul breath upon her face seconds before she lost consciousness. You have been listening to From the Flames by Trisha M. Wilson. Read, recorded, mastered, encoded, and produced by Colbyjack.net. This work is released under a Creative Commons 3.0 Attribution, Non-Commercial, Share-alike license. Do what you want with it, just don't try to profit from it. Heaven knows we can't. If you have any questions, comments, or rants you wish to share with us, we can be reached at Colbyjack at Colbyjack.net. That's COLBYTRAX @ Colbyjack.net. Yep, I sing it too. If you want to follow the exploits of Trisha in Twitterland, just search for Lady Trisha W on Twitter, or follow the ever-dashing, courageous, hardworking, intelligent, and immensely humble Colbyjack on the Twitters as well. If you find that you can't just wait to find out what will happen with Willow, the strong dude and the annoying dude, be heartened to know that From the Flames is available from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Smashwords, as well as from our little shop. Didn't you know about our little shop? Why, yes, we have a little shop located at shop. That's SHOP. .Colbyjack.net. That's shop.Colbyjack.net. Yeah, real original there. There you will find the latest ebook versions of all our works in both Mobi and ebook, all DRM free, as well as audiobook versions of such works as Firmware Hijacked and Proxy, as well, naturally, as well as From the Flames. The audiobooks differ from the podcasts in that the headers and bumpers only run once, and the episodes are grouped into hour-long episodes for easy burning to CD or for downloading on the go. If you find you don't need any stuff, but just want to thank us monetarily for our efforts here, just head on over to Colbyjack.net, select either audio or visual, and look for the donate button located on the blog roll. Well, anyway, thank you for listening, have a wonderful week, and remember to be fabulous.